Welcome back. So today I wanted to do a video all about my favorite sneakers or trainers. I keep getting confused as to whether or not to call them sneakers or trainers of 2023, and there is one cheat one in here that I purchased late last year. I think maybe even the beginning of this year in 2024, but I just wanted to include them because they are very similar to one that has been quite popular for quite some time. So without further ado, I'll just get straight into the video. Like and subscribe if you do like this kind of content, and we'll get straight into it. So the first sneaker that I wanted to show is the Nike P6000. So these are actually the newest ones in my wardrobe, but again, if you know, you know, and I've already worn these pretty much every single day since I got them, and I have to really force myself not to wear them so that I can rotate over the other ones that I also have them in a size UK 6.5, even though I am traditionally a UK 7 and a EU 40, so maybe go down half a size if you want in these specific shoes. I did try them on in stores, so that's why I kind of felt that the 7 was a little bit too loose for me, even for my liking, and I like to have a little bit of a wiggle room on my toes. These are sort of what you would call a traditional dad sneaker. They are very mesh-like as well, and very light. Like I can literally just throw them out in the air like this. And I got them in the colorway that has a red and yellow sort of tick, and then with accent colors of silver, black and white as well. I really love these, and they are an amazing sort of alternative, I think, to the New Balance 530s that, you know, have gone viral and were really on trend for a while. To be honest, I've had the Nike 530s for about 2.5 years now, and I haven't really worn them too much. First of all, because they sort of pinch in terms of at the very top. You can see that they're slightly quite slim, and they also have quite a blunt sort of ending at the top of the shoe as well. So I find that my big toe, especially since I walk, I guess I walk kind of strange, I walk with my toes out first, it kind of juts and slams my big toe into the top of the shoe quite often, so it's not 100% super comfortable for me. And I also find that the length of the 530s are a bit longer than I would like, and as a person with larger feet, I don't really struggle with issues or insecurities about my foot looking too big, but this is definitely kind of more of a boat-like shoe, and this one's a little bit more petite in terms of the length silhouette and also wider on the toe box, so it's quite comfortable for you to sort of run around in. I got these essentially, I was influenced by my partner. He got these in the gray colorway. I do really love these, but I'm trying to hold myself back so that I don't get the same shoe in two different colors. He got these in JD. We went shopping for some cool looking granddad trainers at the end of the year last year, and he found these, and then I got FOMO basically, and then 2 days later went ahead and bought these online for myself, and now we match, much to his delight and my I don't really like matching, but hey ho. I'm going to talk through each of the shoe in terms of comfort, wearability, and also matchability for wardrobes. Because this is sort of primarily a sports shoe, you can see it's very comfortable, very light, and there's ample amounts of padding in terms of the bottom of the shoe, and also the tongue is very thick and cushiony. There's nothing in terms of like arch support that juts out too much like the Adidas shoes sometimes have, where, you know, I'm kind of flat-footed, so the cushion sort of juts my foot up a little bit too high, and it kind of hurts sometimes. But I've never had any sort of issues with these P6000s. I've walked 25,000 steps in these in New York when we went a couple weeks ago, and I've also walked all over Guatemala in them as well, no problem in terms of the heat and expansion of the foot or anything. And I just find them so versatile because I feel like the toe box shape, again, I'm just going to hold them up for comparison. It's sort of more of an almond toe shape, so you can see that the New Balances are a little wider here with a blunter sort of finish on the top, and then the Nikes, I'm just going to call them the Nikes are a bit more of a almond shape, an oval shape, so it kind of goes along with the curves of your toes a bit better. And also in terms of the height and the arch support, it's less of a stark platform as the 530s, and more of a natural looking sports sneaker. And again, because of the toe box shape, I have to say wearing them under especially baggy and long jeans and trousers and things like that. I feel like they elongate your kind of leg and foot a little bit better than the 530s do. I have two and I've tried to pair them in similar ways. I do find that I'm gravitating a lot more towards the Nikes than I am the New Balances for a similar vibe. It is also lighter than the 530s. I don't have the exact measurements, but just holding these, this sort of feels like I'm not really holding anything, whereas the 530s, after a little bit, I do kind of feel the weight of it on my hand. If you've seen my other videos about the luxury white sneakers video that I did a couple years ago, I said that I didn't really like mesh trainers. I've definitely changed my mind, especially now that I've dabbled in two of them now, but I do definitely think that there's a difference that can make or break a mesh trainer for me. The second pair I wanted to talk about was sort of a revelation, I guess, in terms of the color pop trend that came out in the middle of last year in 2023, and the ones that I want to talk about, sorry, one second, let me just tie the shoelace. They are the Onitsuka Tiger trainers. These, my friends joke around, especially since we're Asian, look like the Bruce Lee trainers, but I just love the color of the yellow here. It's sort of a buttery retro looking yellow, not very stark, very neon, but not too pastel that it looks a bit like a white trainer that's a bit old that has gone yellow, if that makes any sense. I really love these, and I know that this sort of negates my whole it's very long, because definitely in terms of the silhouette you can see that it's quite a bit of a longer shape than it is the New Balance 530s. I think what makes these shine is just how sleek and thin the silhouette and the proportions of the shoe is. You can see that it's quite long but very, very low profile and thin, and your ankle bone kind of juts out quite high on top of the sneaker, which really helps to elongate the legs. This is another one of those sneakers that are extremely, extremely comfortable. I've never had an issue with them. Again, I've worn them traveling and things like that and walked around all over London in them for brunch and shopping and all that kind of stuff, and I've never had an issue with them. And I really just think that, you know, color pop trainers and sneakers have kind of been a big trend, I guess, in the last 2 years. There's, you know, the forest green ones and particularly the brown ones that I really love. I am, again, trying to hold myself back so that I don't buy too many pairs of trainers, because I do love myself some boots and sandals as well, so I don't want too extensive of a collection. But I think these are extremely versatile in terms of wearing with very indigo dark jeans. So I have a pair from Uniqlo that are very wide legged and sort of billows over the ankle, and with this jutting out at the bottom of a very dark colored pair of jeans or bottoms is really, really quite striking and nice, and it lends itself to be a color pop without trying to wear a very bright colored jumper or something like that that maybe gives you a headache. It definitely gives me a headache for some reason wearing neon clothes, but having this on your foot, you don't really see it too much. There's some sort of memory foam padding at the bottom of these. I would say as well the construction of these are, and look and feel wise, I would say is better than the Nikes. Not to say that the Nikes are not good. For a person, I wouldn't say I have wide feet, but I definitely have quite bony feet, and sometimes they hurt, especially if it's narrow and you're walking like this. It tends to hurt the kind of joint that I have at on my toe. But these have not been an issue at all, even with a narrower toe box theme here in terms of almond-toed shaped sneakers. I just think that they are quite flattering, especially for people like me who's taller and bottom heavy. I just find that they really, really help to sort of elongate and have that eye line be as streamlined as possible so that you kind of flow up into your leg and not cut you off at the trainer level. Wearability, as I mentioned, super, super versatile. The only thing that I will say, and it's not a quality issue, is the shape of the shoelace. I don't know if you can see, but it's essentially a flat shoelace like this, but it's very slippery and silky. So I usually have to double knot them so that it doesn't come undone. And even when I do that, it still does sometimes come undone. It's not a huge issue, obviously. It's not going to make or break how much I love these, but it's definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you want to wear them for sports. maybe either not change out the shoelaces but tie them extra tight so that it doesn't come undone and you trip on the laces, because they're also quite long. As you can see, they dangle like this. One of my favorite purchases of 2023, and really helped me in terms of revamping my vision on sneakers. I think, as you can tell from these two sort of white sneakers, I've just been a white sneaker person. I thought that that would be the most versatile way to go, but actually if you have quite a neutral wardrobe, having pops of color in your footwear and in your accessories and things like that can really help add more excitement to your day-to-day dressing. Favorite top rated sneaker of 2023 and into 2024. The next pair are quite an obvious choice, I would say, but they're popular for a reason, and they are the New Balance 550s. I have them in the all white and gray colorway. I think these are quite common now. I think I have a lot of different white trainers that have little accent colors, which is great, but I really love the New Balance 550s, especially in the winter months where I wanted a kind of more platform style, substantial looking sneaker that I can wear everywhere. And these I would definitely say are the most heavy out of the three that I've shown so far, and that's because it's an all leather construction. You can see that there's kind of no mesh here except for this little part over here that's a little bit of a padded situation. There is no holes either that the Autries, for example, have on the top. That kind of makes it more resembling a Reebok sneaker. It's very refined while still being a traditionally basketball style shoe, and with the flat laces and just the way that it's also constructed is very sleek while still being quite a chunky looking sneaker at a glance. And you can see here again with the theme, almond toed shape are the way to go for me. In terms of comfort, very comfortable, although the only thing I would say is, again, with my sort of bony feet, when I do walk like this, because they're quite chunky here as well, and there's a lot of padding all throughout the shoe, there's actually padding within here as well. After about, you know, 15,000, maybe 20,000 steps, I do start to feel it on my toe, like sort of joint bone, but that's just my foot. I'm sure a lot of people have no issues at all with these. It doesn't also deter me from wearing them. It's just slight uncomfortableness. It doesn't rub, it doesn't cause blisters or anything like that. And actually my partner has a pair as well of these, and he's worn them to the ground since the beginning of the last year, and he's had no complaints or issues with them whatsoever. So Nike 550s. The next pair that I wanted to talk about is a bit of a cheat, I guess. I don't know if they could be classed as sneakers, but they are the Hoka sort of trainer sandal looking sneakers. I do kind of count them as sneakers, even though there's lots of gaping holes in them, and they're waterproof, and I think they're actually sold online as a sandal, but I usually wear socks with them and treat them as I would a sneaker, and I really love these. I saw them actually on a woman in Ocean Park in Hong Kong in May of 2023, and immediately was like, wow, what is that? That looks extremely comfortable. And then I found out that they are the Hoka Hopas, you can see. And I got them in the beige with some grayish green sort of neutral, basically a neutral sandal looking trainer, and I absolutely love these. I think they might be the most squishiest, comfortable, bouncy kind of trainers or sneaker or sandal or whatever you want to call these I've ever owned. But the other side of how squishy and squidgy they are, I did wear them to Walt Disney World when we went back in September of 2023, and because they are so squishy, it doesn't actually give too much support in terms of your pinky toe. It's a strange thing to start to rub, but in about like 25,000 steps, I started to notice that my pinky toe and my fourth toe started to rub together because they're so squishy that your foot sort of sits in the middle of the shoe, and after a while it does start to rub a little bit, but it's not going to deter me at all if I just wanted to walk around in the city in them. And in terms of wearability, super wearable, especially in the summer months. I would say that this is what I gravitate towards if I am looking to be more of a sport vibe of the day, and do sort of wear a lot of those now. You can see that I'm have like these flared legging and track pant things on, and it's really easy to, you know, walk the dog in. They're waterproof. You can even go swimming, I think, especially trail swimming in like more mountainous or rocky areas, I think these would be a really good way to protect your foot. They are also very, very breathable and dry really quickly, obviously lending to the holes that it has everywhere. They are quite pricey, but I got mine on sale at urbanoutfitters.com for about 40% off, I think, during the summer months. So definitely keep an eye out. I think they are the less popular, I guess, versions of the Hokas. I know that the Hoka ones or the other Hokas basically are much more popular, but these ones, I think, don't sleep on it if you're interested in a pair of very versatile trainer looking sneaker sandal things that can take you throughout the summer months with oh, I wear these a lot with jean shorts and skirts as well. Really love these, and I can't wait to sort of whip them out in the summer months again so that I can wear it with like little ankle socks and things like that. Last but not least, I really wanted to mention these Adidas OSigos. Got it in a baby blue and pink color combination. Again, this is sort of going in the similar vein as my color pop sneaker of choice, the Onitsuka Tigers. I just think that these are extremely versatile, and also because it's a pastel color, I can wear these more with more feminine looking dresses and midi dresses, mini skirts, like things like that, that I feel like could have an edgier vibe, but still in keeping with the general theme of feminine dressing. So these are usually what I would wear for that occasion specifically. Comfort level wise, I would say that they are the least comfortable of my top 5, and that's just because all the other ones are so comfortable. I'm not saying that these aren't comfortable at all, but because the toe here is actually quite narrow. It's almond but with a point, I would say, at the very top. It does sort of sometimes, and as well you can see that it sort of juts down a little bit. It's on a bit of a slant towards the front where it's a bit lower on the front, so your toes will usually kind of go into the front a little bit, and because it's quite a narrow toe box, sometimes it can crush your toes a little bit, so just keep that in mind as well. And also, the one thing that I will say is that the insole of the shoe, and this is a very luxurious feature, it's kind of a satin material, very slippery and smooth, but if you're wearing kind of also slippery and smooth socks, both of them just kind of glide off of each other, which then also makes your toes jump more forwards as well. So just something to keep in mind. Bounciness, squishability, wearability, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's definitely one of those sneakers that have been around for a while, and they're popular in sort of the main colorways, the white colorways and the black colorways, but have a look out for the more fun looking ones. I think the color combinations, especially in the OSigos, have been done really well. And I've seen a lot of really interesting pops of neon green and yellows and pinks, like bright pinks, that have looked really amazing as well. So I wouldn't really sleep on these. I would say that the Hoparas, the Hoka Hoparas and the OSigos, I usually do when I'm going full on athleisure. And then the other 3 that I've mentioned, it can kind of teeter in between being a more tailored look with a pop of color or a more grandad silhouette at the bottom, and more casual looks as well. So very versatile, I think, in terms of my top 5, if I do say so myself. And I know that I haven't mentioned any of the sort of viral sambas and things like that. I do just struggle a little bit with the sambas because I feel like it's a bit too narrow and quite similar to the Tigers that I have already, that it's difficult to justify. To be honest, I think I'm pretty set. Fingers crossed I don't buy anymore. But yeah, these are just my favorite. Great, that's it. A short and sweet video, hopefully, for this week. If you have any questions about a specific sneaker that you want me to go into detail in terms of sizing and everything as well, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.